Welcome to QueAquatics and Exotics. My name's Suzy, and today I want to talk about my 5 favorite fish to put in a 5-gallon aquarium. Well, at least it's my 5 favorite fish today. Every time I learn more about a fish, it seems to change. But let's go take a walk over to my nano aquarium so we can talk about the 5-gallon fish.
Hey everybody, it's SuzyQue and I'm here to show you just what I do. I have a passion for fish and exotics too, so come along with me, it's SuzyQue. Hey.
As you can see, I have a variety of nano tanks, including some 5-gallon tanks. So today I want to go over my 5 top fish that would go very well in a 5-gallon aquarium. And before I get started, you guys know this is my opinion, this is my experience, this is what's worked for me. So a 5-gallon aquarium is 16 by 8, 16 inches by 8 inches deep by 10 inches high. It's a nice small aquarium. I kind of like figure around 8 pounds per gallon for weight, but I round it up to 10 just to take into consideration the sand, the rocks, the wood. So it's going to be about 40 to 50 pounds. Not so bad for a desktop aquarium, and they come in all sizes and shapes. This is just one standard. They come in rimless, taller, narrower, shorter, fatter, all different shapes. But this is the standard 5-gallon aquarium. Now you got to keep in mind, if you're looking to get what fish do you want for your 5-gallon aquarium, I'm hoping you've already done research to know the extra work that it takes and the mindfulness that's needed to keep a 5-gallon aquarium. It's a lot easier keeping a 20-gallon aquarium, in my opinion. This is my opinion. 5-gallon aquarium, the water changes need to be more often. You have to be very mindful of the water you're adding in, that there's hardly any variance in temperature, pH, TDS, because the slightest amount of water you put in is going to fluctuate because it's such a small amount of water. But if you already did your research and you're ready to do the work and keep track of it, which is probably why you're watching this, because you're doing your own research, kudos. And don't forget, it starts off with how to cycle your tank. And if you're not sure how to cycle an aquarium, I'll put up that link up here. So here are my 5 best fish for this 5-gallon aquarium. Starting out with number 5, the sparkling gourami. I believe the sparkling gourami is one of the smallest gouramis that there is, also known as a Trichopsis pumila. And pumila basically just means small. So if you've seen that name attached to any fish, plants, or whatever, small. They come from Southeast Asia, from Indonesia and south to Vietnam. So they come from all over that area. But you don't have to go that far to get them because they propagate and are well bred in the aquarium hobby. They're not aggressive. They get a little over an inch to an inch and a half. They live to about 4 years old. It's kind of underrated, probably because of the spectacular colors that it's not. It's got like a plain brown body, but the finnage is translucent with these beautiful sparkles on it. The nose is a little pointy, and it's a gourami, so it's got a labyrinth that can breathe. Bubble nester if you want to breed them. If you ever breed them or they're in mating season, it almost might sound like they got little crickets in their tank because they make this tiny croaking noise when they're mating. Adorable. That's all I'm going to say. 5-gallon aquarium, I would keep 4 to 8, and definitely a heavily planted area. They like the temperature between 77, 83, which is basically most of my aquariums. I have a few cold water and a few very warm water, but for the most part, they're around 79 degrees. I was going to say that they're like mid-level swimmers, but they're really all over the place. So it's absolutely adorable. They're omnivorous, so they'll eat just about anything, but just keep in mind they got small mouths. Actually, most of the fish on my list, obviously, are smaller fish, and they're all going to need this tiny micro pellet or crushed up flakes or frozen food. And they are omnivorous, but I know mine love the bug bites. And there's a very good reason, because I also have tiny crickets that I put in, and they love to rip them apart. Is that gross? I'm sorry. But my fish love it, so. And my crickets that I feed my fish, or my flightless fruit flies, are fed very well. So they're not, I don't catch insects and bugs outside and feed them to my fish. These are ones that I have for several weeks and I gut load them. But don't worry, you don't have to do that. You don't have to feed bugs to you because they have this food called, do I have it here? Bug bites. Where's my food? Huh. I cleaned up and put all my food away. They do like the bug bites, which is basically bugs, bit up bugs. No, that's my number 5 choice, the sparkling gourami. My number 4 choice would be the endler, specifically the Japan blue endler. I've got Lyre tails, Japan blue endlers, but any endler would do. They come in all different colors. Posilia wingii, I just call them endlers. They're endemic to South America, but they're bred in captivity and you can get them at any local store. They like the temperature between 70 and 78, and they can live about 2 years. So, but the good news is, even though their lifespan is pretty short, they breed readily. So if you're going to put some breeding ones in here, I would keep like a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 ratio. Now, the females aren't quite as bright. So if you want 2 males, then I would keep 3 to 4 females. But even a tank of 5 males is going to look great next in a heavily planted tank. Because these neon blue colors just pop. And they're very personable, very active. I was going to tell you they're top level swimmers, which they are, but they're also very quick swimmers. That's my number 4 pick, endler. Specifically the Lyre tail Japan blue endler. Any endler would do great in this tank. My number 3 is the emerald dwarf rasbora. Micro rasbora erythromicron. And these fish are spectacular. Wow. I got mine when they were just tiny, and I didn't quite grasp how gorgeous they were going to be until they were about 3 months old. I didn't quite know that when I got them because mine were so small, but as they reached maturity, absolutely beautiful. When they came into maturity and I saw this beautiful copperhead, pinkish orange body with up to 15 emerald green bars on it. It's got a single black spot rimmed in copper at the base of the caudal fin. There's so many stripes and bars on this, it's hard to miss, except for it's a tiny fish. They come from Lake Inlet, and if I was keeping emerald dwarf rasboros, I would keep between 6 and 9. Now, they like the pH to be above 7. My water top comes out at 6.8. They like it between 7.2 to 7.5. And they like it kind of cooler, like between 70 and 77 degrees. So if they were just going to go into one of my regular tanks, I would actually lower it down a couple degrees before putting them in. And they love the mosquito larvae, the bug bites, frozen or freeze-dried shrimp, pellets, flakes. Did I tell you they live to be about 3 to 5 years? Absolutely amazing pick for any one of these 5-gallon aquariums. A lot of these fish I'm recommending they get put in a heavily planted tank. If you don't like using plants, there's plastic plants, silk plants, they work as well. Just make sure they're not sharp. But if you are interested in plants, check out this video I did on my 5 favorite plants for a 5-gallon aquarium. My number 2 pick is the CPD, Celestial Pearl Danio, otherwise known as the Galaxy rasbora. The scientific name is Danio margaritatus. CPD. Beautiful fish, but very shy, kind of fear-based fish. And they like the water cooler, between like 71, 75. Once it gets up to 77, 78 degrees, they could start getting sick. And if it gets up to about 80 or so, they could start dying. So this is definitely a fish that you don't want to have a heater in, or if you do, you want it very much controlled. And when we talk about whether they're top swimmers or bottom swimmers or mid-level swimmers, these guys are scared swimmers. That's what I would call them. They're in hiding and they come out for the food. So if you give them floating pellets, they may not eat them because they don't want to go to the top. So you're going to want to get pellets that sink, float, or go to the bottom. They'll come out and they'll grab them. They're under an inch and they live to be about 2 years. And they breed readily. You need a lot of floating plants. I find you need a lot of floating plants, Java moss. And it's only found in a couple lakes. But thank goodness for us, they breed very well in the hobby. Otherwise, they could probably be extinct by now. They're so few and far between in the wild. but they do breed well, and they breed very well if you want to do an outside tub, if your weather permits. So that's my number 2 pick, the Celestial Pearl Danios. On to my number 1. But before I go to my number 1, stay tuned because I also have a bonus pick. My number 1 pick, the Ember tetras. And there's a reason why it's my number 1 pick. Hyphrosobicon amandii, I think is how you say it. Again, I prefer to call them Ember tetras, fire tetras. These are absolutely stunning, bright orange. Well, at least the males during mating are very bright orange, but even the females are very colorful. They come from Brazil in the basins, and they like slow moving. And I would keep between 7 and 9. I always like to keep odd numbers, and I'm not quite sure why, but my mom taught me growing up, anything you grab either 1, 3, 5. Just stuck with me, so I don't even have to know why. My mom told me so. That's what I do. Oh, they do like a kind of soft, slightly acidic. So if you were going to make a biotope with this 5-gallon aquarium, which is basically using wood and leaves, and you get those like light tan, orangish color water, is gorgeous. These Ember tetras will love it. They like the temperature anywhere between 73 and 84, which fits right in the range of most aquariums. They do live to be about 2 to 3 years, and they're less than an inch big. So again, even though they're omnivorous, small foods, small pellets, they're called micro pellets, frozen brine. There's a lot of different flakes, pellets that are very high quality, that are good for tiny mouth fish. Tiny mouthed fish. Oh my God. And then there you have it. That's my number 1 pick, the Ember tetras. Here's a bonus pick for you. What did I put in my 5-gallon aquarium? It's not one of my top 5. The honey gourami. The honey gourami is an amazing choice for this 5-gallon aquarium. The reason why it didn't come to my top 5 is because I know a lot of people want more than just one fish in their aquarium. I'm okay with that. And after she's comfortable, I might add some cherry shrimp. Will she pick on a little bit of the babies? Maybe. But I think they can coincide as long as I build some hiding spots for my cherry shrimp. But right now, I want her to get used to this 5-gallon aquarium and to know that it's her aquarium, his aquarium. Because if it was a her, she wouldn't be bright goldish orange. I don't know why I keep saying her. Him. His aquarium. So that's my bonus pick, is this golden honey gourami. Absolutely gorgeous. So those are my top 5. Now, of course, you can always add what I put out last week in my 2.5-gallon aquarium picks. Any one of those fish would go very well in the 5-gallon as well. So, and that was the betta fish, 1 pea puffer, Neocaridina shrimp, and Nereid snails. Nereid snails. So you put them all together, and I think you got 10 fish that could go in a 5-gallon aquarium. But keep doing your research. I would love to hear what you end up deciding to go in your 5-gallon aquarium. Go ahead and put it in the comments below. And if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comments below. I love questions. And a lot of times the questions that are asked sparks a video. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. Hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. Nah, hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. So come along with me. Said I'm SuzyQue.